Hello, and thank you for joining us for the CEM Top 10 around active participation as one of our key practices of classroom engagement model. I am Sally Hansen, the CEM Content Lead and a Region 11 PDF. So the active participation overview is that adding the 4 levels of active participation into each routine within routine within routine will increase the number of children who are able to fully participate in that activity. And so the most basic level of active participation is watching. Sometimes we say the most basic level might be listening, but we can't measure listening. We really don't know what children are thinking about or hearing or not hearing because we can't measure that. So what we do look for is that they're watching. So for example, if we are at circle time and we have a child who's turned around or is in a different area of the room working on a puzzle, they might not be watching. And that's not to say they're not gathering some of the information. They might be listening, but we can't measure it. So we look for watching as the most basic level of active participation. That being said, if you have children who do better in a different part of the room, are able to engage more fully when they have something else of interest to attend to, that's something your team can discuss. And if that's appropriate for that child, that would make sense to go ahead and do that. For most children, we are trying to achieve these 4 levels of active participation options. So watching would be watching the visuals that are available. So if we are lining up, for example, to transition down the hallway, is there a visual place that they should stand in line? Or are there visual expectations for the hallway to look at? If we're at circle time, the visual might be the teacher who's leading circle or the show if you've been to CEM training. It might be a smart board. You might be using that as your visual. You might have some sort of big book that you're using, a large book. Any of those things would be a reasonable thing for children to look at. You might also have some individualized things children can look at, such as a personal mini schedule, a personal copy of the book, if you're trying to increase attention and engagement during a story reading time for a child who's not great at attending during a large group time. Having an individual copy of the book can help. It also supports our dual language learners to have an individual copy of the book to follow along with, or an individual story map that they can use to point at pictures as they become familiar with English language. So once we've mastered and had and added our ability for something to look at, to watch, the next level of active participation is something motoric. It's something that we can manipulate, an object, a prop, a material, a finger play, or it could be something large motor. So if we're going to do counting, maybe we're adding tapping our knees as we count, or maybe we are marching in place. Maybe we have a finger play to go with our song. Maybe we have props that go with the story and there's things we're going to do with them. If you haven't been to CEM training yet, when you get there, you'll see a bunch of examples. We also have a video coming up just to give you a couple of ideas about how props and materials can help us meet those motor goals. Something interesting to note is that motor comes before verbal. And so if you think about the children in your class, maybe we have some children who are speech delayed or developmentally delayed, or perhaps dual language learners. Having an opportunity for them to fully participate with motor is really beneficial if they're not able to yet participate verbally. So if we skip over motor and only include the book that we're reading and the opportunities for choral response, we are going to miss some students, and some students are not going to be engaged in that routine to the full possibility if we included that motor development. So things to think about and talk to your coach about as you're doing planning for a variety of routines, small group, large group, transition, arrival, etc. And then of course, the most complex would be a combination. So we have something to watch, and we've also combined a motor and a verbal activity at the same time. And so that might look like singing as we're walking down the hall and we're watching our teacher for directions. Many of these things teachers do already. These aren't brand new ideas. The invitation here is to be more intentional and more consistent in your use of adding active participation. So along with active participation goes embedding learning opportunities for all children. We talked about this in the routines segment of our top 10, that we want to be intentional about the activities we plan so we know what goal we're working on. The class-wide goals, things that all children are working on: letter identification, following directions, making friends, self-help skills. Those should be embedded throughout the day, where there's lots of practice opportunities and there's a variety of ways to actively participate. And so this little segment really wraps together routines to the third power, active participation, and thinking about intentionality of the activities we're planning and what is it that we want children to learn from those things. Here's an example of adding active participation to a circle time. I'm going to make sure that you're going to be able to hear my audio. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to play you a short video of an opportunity for active participation. This teacher is using the Handwriting Without Tears curriculum and MapMan, which is one of the curriculum options for their program to help children to identify different body parts and get ready for writing. So let's go ahead and see how she increased active participation to meet the goals of this class.
Okay. The little ones are kind of eyes. Here's the head, so get the head ready.
But what's this?
Oh, that's his hand. All right, are we ready? Oh, we'll get Charlie a minute. Okay, get your head ready. They said we're gonna wait. Wait, here it comes. Here comes MapMan. Got your head ready? Good job. MapMan has one head, one head, one head. MapMan has one head so that he can think. Sorry, buddy. Eyes. They're these funny little triangles. There's two eyes. Eyes. Where's eyes? I'll slow. Nose, one nose, one nose. MapMan has one nose so that he can smell. Okay, does everybody have eyes and nose?
Yeah.
They're kind of funny little triangles. Mason, did you find? Oh, here's another eye. Some people don't have a nose. Good job, Randy. Put your other eye up there, Mason. You don't have a mouth? Okay, here's the mouth. Are you ready? This is going to be your ear. So hang on with your mouth. I'll start it again. Here we go. MapMan has one mouth, one mouth, one mouth. MapMan has one mouth so that he can eat.
So during that example, you saw that each child had a bag of their own props. And there were many children in that class with developmental delays and other IEP objectives. And having their own materials provided the teacher a few things. First, she was able to keep them all fully engaged in an activity. If they hadn't had those props, one wonders how focused would some of those children have been if only the teacher had the opportunity to build the MapMan. The other thing she was able to do is provide a lot of individual prompting to make sure that children are getting the correct instruction from the activity. They're learning the different body parts and the different, the different pieces and following those directions. And at the end, she can take some pictures and use that for her data collection and documentation and decide if we're ready to move on from this MapMan activity or if we will continue to do it in the future if more children still need practice. So that's one example of active participation and goals being embedded into the routine with all children participating and also some opportunity for individual children's engagement. Let's look at a snack example here. This snack example, you're going to see the area that the teachers set up for children to look at so that they can independently participate in this snack routine. and you're going to see the children having those social interactions, opportunities for verbal communication, as well as some goals around counting and one-to-one correspondence. So let's go ahead and watch this snack routine. Obviously, this routine within routine does require some teaching on the front end and some teacher supervision to make sure that everyone is washing their hands and not touching other children's food. I know I'm recording this post-COVID, so I know that we have extra cleanly and safety procedures in place, but if you look at the embedded goals, we've got the tongs there for some good motor movement. We have our visual with the number 5 for number recognition. Then we're counting to 5 and getting that one-to-one correspondence, all within a routine that is fun and interesting for the children. We're not breaking away and doing flashcards. We're just embedding it right in there. And you're an active participant in your snack routine, having all of those different levels of activity rather than being a passive observer. Oh, we don't need to watch it again. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this segment of the CEM Top 10 on active participation. The invitation for you next is to consider where can you add the 4 levels of active participation into your routines. And thank you.